Cardiologists warn 6 early heart attack signs, up to a week in advance. A year ago, I attended an emergency response training designed especially for seniors, a class taught by veteran cardiologists who've seen it all. And they told us something I'll never forget. Most heart attacks don't strike out of nowhere. Your body often warns you up to 7 days before it happens. Sounds unbelievable, right? But science confirms it. Our hearts rarely stay silent before they fail. Here in the United States, heart disease remains our #1 killer. According to the CDC, about 1 person dies every 33 seconds from cardiovascular causes. And worse, millions more ignore subtle warning signs every single day, dismissing them as just aging or a little stress. That's why learning to recognize and act on these early signs could literally save your life or someone you love. Prevention isn't just wise, it's urgent. So if you've ever felt that something just isn't right with your body lately, lean in. Hit that notification bell, subscribe, and stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, we're diving into the 6 early signs cardiologists say you can't afford to ignore. 1. Chest pain or pressure that doesn't let go. You might think heart pain feels like someone stabbing you. Sudden, sharp, unbearable. But for most people, it's quieter than that. It's that dull, heavy pressure sitting right behind your breastbone, as if a small child is pressing their palms against your chest and just not letting go. What's happening is simple. Your heart isn't getting enough oxygen. When one of the arteries feeding your heart becomes narrowed or blocked, the muscle starts to starve. It doesn't scream, it suffocates slowly. That tightness is your body's way of warning you before it's too late. Doctors at Cleveland Clinic found that this type of discomfort often lasts longer than 10 minutes and doesn't fade when you sit or rest. That's the biggest clue. Heartburn usually eases after a sip of water or an antacid. This kind of pain doesn't. You can walk around, take deep breaths, but that squeezing stays with you. Sometimes it radiates to your left arm or jaw. Other times, it just sits there like a weight you can't shake off. And here's something most people never hear. If you ever feel that pressure coming and going for several days in a row, even mild, it could mean your arteries are narrowing bit by bit. A study by the American Heart Association revealed that many survivors had experienced warning chest tightness up to a week before the actual attack, but ignored it because it wasn't severe. If you ever find yourself in that moment, sitting at the kitchen table feeling that strange heaviness, don't wait to see if it passes. Call emergency services. But while waiting, there's one small thing that can ease the strain. Sit upright, lean slightly forward, and rest your forearms on your knees. It helps your lungs expand and your heart pump more freely. It's not a cure, but those few minutes could make a world of difference before help arrives. 2. Shortness of breath. When air feels too heavy to breathe, it's a strange feeling, isn't it? You haven't been running, you haven't climbed stairs, yet suddenly you're out of breath. The room feels thicker. You try to take a deep breath, but it's as if your chest forgot how. That's because when the heart starts to weaken, it can't move blood through your lungs efficiently. Instead of sending oxygen-rich blood through your body, fluid begins to back up inside your lungs, like water filling a sponge. You breathe faster, but the oxygen never quite reaches where it needs to go. The Mayo Clinic followed more than 1,000 patients who reported breathlessness before cardiac events, and many said it appeared weeks, not hours before the attack. That's the part that surprises most people. It doesn't always strike in a crisis. Sometimes it's the gentle panting after folding laundry, or the feeling of needing to pause halfway up the driveway. If you want to tell whether it's your heart or your lungs, pay attention to when it happens. Shortness of breath from asthma usually appears in cold weather or after dust exposure. But when it's the heart, it often shows up quietly, when you're lying down, talking, or doing something ordinary. You might even wake at night gasping for air, needing to sit up just to catch your breath. There's a small trick doctors at NIH sometimes recommend to track this at home: the 30-second test. Walk across a room at your normal pace, then stop and count how long it takes before your breathing feels normal again. If it takes longer than half a minute, it's time to get checked. And when you sleep, try propping up your upper body with 1 or 2 extra pillows. That simple change reduces pressure on your heart and lungs. Many older adults find they breathe easier almost instantly. The important thing is not to shrug it off. Breathlessness isn't a sign of age. It's a sign your heart is asking for air before it runs out. 3. Cold sweats and sudden nausea. The body's emergency code. Picture this. You're standing in your kitchen, maybe stirring a pot of soup, when suddenly you break into a sweat. Cold, sticky, out of nowhere. Your forehead dampens, your palms clam up, and your shirt clings to your back. You're not hot, you're not anxious, but your body feels like it's in a fight it didn't choose. That's your nervous system reacting to a sudden drop in blood flow to the heart. When your heart senses danger, your body floods itself with adrenaline to stay alive, pulling blood away from your skin and stomach to protect the brain. The result? Clammy skin, dizziness, maybe even a wave of nausea that hits hard and fast. The CDC recorded over 150,000 emergency calls each year from women who described cold sweating and nausea as their only symptom of an impending heart attack. It's easy to mistake it for the flu or food poisoning, but the difference lies in the timing. Stomach illness develops gradually while cardiac nausea comes out of the blue. No meal, no smell, no reason. When that happens, don't rush to the medicine cabinet. Listen to what your body is saying. Sit down somewhere safe, loosen tight clothing, and take slow, steady breaths through your nose. Counting helps. 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. It stabilizes your heart rhythm by calming the vagus nerve that connects your brain, heart, and gut. Most people don't realize that calming that nerve can stop dizziness and sweating in less than a minute. And here's a small, practical detail many cardiologists share quietly with patients. If cold sweat hits while you're standing, avoid walking or pacing. Stay seated because each step increases your heart's oxygen demand. Wait, breathe, and get help. Because your body is not overreacting, it's trying to protect you. 4. Unexplained pain in the back, neck, or jaw. The misleading pain that travels. One of the most confusing signals your heart can send doesn't even come from your chest. It hides in your neck, jaw, or upper back. The very places most people blame on bad posture, a stiff pillow, or too much time in front of the computer. But when your heart's arteries start to narrow, pain signals travel along nerve pathways shared with these areas. That's why what feels like a pulled muscle between your shoulder blades or an ache that crawls up the side of your neck can actually begin deep inside your chest. Cardiologists at Johns Hopkins Medicine often call this the traveling pain because it doesn't stay put. It shifts. One day your jaw feels sore, the next day it's the back of your shoulder. The ache tends to be dull, deep, and stubborn. Unlike a muscle strain, it doesn't worsen with touch or movement, and pain relief creams don't do much. The science behind it is fascinating and deceptive. When part of your heart muscle doesn't receive enough oxygen, it releases compounds that trigger pain receptors in other regions connected to the same nerve branches. It's like a short circuit in your body's wiring, where your brain misreads the signal. That's why so many women describe heart pain as coming from my back, when in truth, the heart is the source. If that ache lingers for hours or keeps returning over several days, especially if you also feel tired or short of breath, don't brush it off as a posture problem. Here's something doctors quietly advise. If pressing on the sore area doesn't make the pain worse, it's more likely to be cardiac than muscular. A strained muscle will react to pressure, heart pain won't. And there's one small, surprisingly practical step that helps many people while waiting for medical help. Apply gentle warmth, not cold. A warm compress or heating pad across the upper back can slightly dilate surface blood vessels, easing strain on deeper circulation. It's not a fix, but for someone alone at home, that simple act, paired with sitting upright and calm breathing, can steady the body's stress response while waiting for help. Pain that moves is not random. It's your body rerouting a message it can't say out loud. Something is wrong with your heart. 5. Unusual fatigue that lingers for days. When your body runs out of spark. You know that bone-deep tiredness that doesn't match what you've done all day? The kind where even folding laundry feels like running uphill? That's the kind of fatigue that worries cardiologists most. Unlike normal tiredness that fades after rest, cardiac fatigue lingers because your heart is struggling to deliver oxygen throughout your body. Your muscles, brain, and organs are running on half power, and your body knows it. According to a large-scale review by the National Institutes of Health, many patients, especially over 55, reported feeling unusual fatigue for 3 to 4 days before their heart attack. They described it as just not feeling right, but not enough to alarm them. That's what makes it dangerous. It creeps in quietly. If you notice yourself waking up tired even after 8 hours of sleep, or taking longer to finish simple household tasks, don't assume it's just age catching up. Think of your body like a car running low on oil. Everything still moves, but it's grinding harder than it should. When your heart can't meet the body's oxygen demands, it diverts blood away from your skin and digestive system toward vital organs. That's why you might feel cold, lose appetite, or even get lightheaded. You're not lazy. Your body is prioritizing survival. So what can you do when that heavy tiredness hits? First, stop pushing through it. Take note of what you were doing when it appeared. Vacuuming, cooking, carrying laundry. And if it repeats with mild effort, schedule a checkup. And there's a simple science-backed trick from Harvard Health. Hydrate early in the day. Drinking about 8 to 10 ounces of water every morning thins the blood and improves circulation efficiency, reducing cardiac strain. Most seniors in their study who started that routine reported better energy within 2 weeks. And if you need one more gentle reminder, rest is not weakness. Sometimes it's your heart whispering that it's working harder than it should. 6. Trouble sleeping and a restless sense of anxiety. The nighttime warning signal. Now let's talk about the symptom most people least expect. Restless sleep or unexplained anxiety in the days leading up to a heart attack. You may not feel chest pain or fatigue at all. Instead, it might show up as nights where you toss and turn or wake up suddenly with a racing heart and no clear reason. What's happening here isn't just nerves. Your heart and your brain are constantly talking through hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. When your heart begins to struggle, it sends stress signals through the nervous system, causing your body to act like it's under threat, even in the quiet of the night. That's why you might wake drenched in sweat, feel your pulse in your neck, or sense an unshakable worry that something's wrong. The University of California, San Francisco, UCSF, tracked patients in recovery and found that nearly 1 in 3 reported restless nights or vivid anxiety before their heart attack. The brain senses the imbalance in oxygen long before the conscious mind does. It's your internal alarm system, just not one most people recognize. If that happens to you, nights of unease, heart fluttering, or waking to catch your breath, don't dismiss it as aging or stress. Try this calming approach that cardiologists sometimes teach patients recovering from arrhythmia. Place one hand over your chest, one over your belly, and breathe so that the lower hand rises first. Deep abdominal breathing stimulates the vagus nerve, lowering heart rate and restoring calm. Do it for 2 minutes, especially before bed. And here's a comforting fact. When your body learns to relax that way, it can reduce nighttime heart strain by up to 15 beats per minute, according to a controlled trial at Cleveland Clinic. That's not meditation magic. It's biology working in your favor. So if you ever wake up with that vague sense that something's not right, don't dismiss it. Your intuition is often your heart's quiet voice. In the still of the night, that voice is sometimes the only warning you'll get. Before you go, if this video opened your eyes, don't just keep it to yourself. Hit subscribe, tap like, and most importantly, share this with someone you care about. You might save a life without even knowing it. And if there's any health topic you'd love us to cover next, drop it in the comments below. Your idea could be the next video that helps thousands. To sum it up, ignoring these early warning signs can mean giving heart disease the upper hand. And sometimes one missed signal is all it takes to change everything. Protecting your heart starts with awareness, and awareness starts with action. Today. So while waiting for our next video, check out the one I've linked on the screen right now. It could give you even more powerful ways to safeguard your health and your life.